What's your best ever trade? Hi, it's Charlie giving you Saturday's video. Hope you're very well. So we were chatting in the trading room just yesterday afternoon, and I was asking, what's your best ever trade? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest trade or the trade that you've made most money on, because sometimes the best ever trade could actually be a relatively small trade, but it just, for whatever reason, it all set up really well. You manage the trade well, whatever it might be. I'll give you an example right now. So this is a trade from a few years ago, 2018, and I still remember this trade. Like I remember a lot of trades that I do. This was a trade that I did with our traders, but we simply bought this pullback on the euro dollar here into these prior highs, and at the time there was some nice little setups going on the intraday charts as well. So we got in, we knew we had this pullback here, used a setup on an intraday chart, and then ran it up, took partial profits here, and then some more up there. So it wasn't anything super duper, huge, but in relative terms, it was a really well executed and just a very nice trade because it ran quite easily and all of that. So it's not necessarily that you make a fortune on all of your trades or your best trades, but some trades will stand out for you that you just say, do you know what? Yeah, I took this trade and it was an intraday trade and I made 30 pips, but it was just a really nice trade. So what's your best trade? Now, of course, we can, by all means, do go and give us your thoughts on what may well be your best ever trade as well. So, for example, if I go back here, definitely one of my best ever trades would have been this trade from 2017. This was more of a swing. I've now put it onto a weekly chart, and I was in right down here, and I was trading this throughout this whole period, right the way up to about, I think, 114. So it was overall, it was a 1,000 pip range that I was trading over, and so yeah, that was a pretty good trade. But then there's been others as well, right away up into, if even into, there's a really nice example here, where I was shorting through this period in the beginning of last year. That was a pretty good trade, and even some trades back here recently, pretty good. But there's always going to be trades that stand out for you. So the question is, what are your standout trades? And probably one of the best answers that I got yesterday was from one of our members who said one of his best ever trades was his worst trade. And what he meant by that is that that worst trade that happened to him 10 years ago was the trade that taught him a huge lesson. So there you go. So I thought, what a great line that was. So his best trade was actually his worst trade, because that marked a turning point in his trading. So anyway, answers on a postcard. What are your best trades? They don't have to be the most money you've made or the most pips you've made, but what do you remember as, whenever, however long you've been trading? You might not have been trading more than a year, and you might say, oh well, actually my best trade or a trade that really sat well with me happened 3 weeks ago. So answers on the postcard, put them into the notes, and let's see what your best trades or favorite trades have been.